And Rel, the kind of the main engage tool alongside that Pantheon, means it can be a little tough for Fnatic to engage if Rogue are able to play at range like they want to.
Yeah, the risk is you do have Fate's Call, right? So the Rel can just be thrown into the middle of the team. Alan coming out and TP from Humanoid to the mid lane. Oscarinin is on his lonesome for now. Upset and Razork are on their way across. Will Rogue call off the dive? It's been a while. Malrang stepping forward, Decimating Smash coming out, hits onto Adam. Malrang's going to tank with that sap magic. Adam goes in, Oscarinin flashes away, Twisted advance, they'll get first blood. Malrang will pay for it. Razork can flash stun here as Oscarin's on the chase as well. He's going to go in with that zombie form and Adam will fall too. Upset with a double.
Great turnaround play from Fnatic. And also by moving execute to this top side makes it some sort of dive on towards Adam impossible.
Yeah, it does feel more like Rogue are trying to absorb the pressure from Fnatic on the top side while letting Patrick walk back down towards bot. The wave had been frozen on him. They know they're not really going to contest the clubs. It's more about delaying Fnatic and taking that so they can get this dragon. A 3-for-1 exchange.
Oh boy,
Grand start.
Upset is caught back up. And when you look at the top side of the map, Oscarinin also has that lead because he got the solo XP. So for Fnatic, here comes a dive.
Adam has flash, but doesn't really have an opportunity to use it before he is just dead. Meanwhile, in the bot side, a dive might materialize here for Rogue. Nature's Grass comes out, only clips onto Mickey. Execute has the ultimate, and even with the TP coming out, I don't think Mickey survives for long enough. Execute tanks up with the Unbreakable Will. The TP was cancelled.
As for upset, so just turning on towards Mickey, a valid option in that case.
Yeah, nice little dive from Rogue, but still a 400 gold lead for Upset on that Kalista, and gold leads across the rest of the map as well. 700 the lead now for Razork, 500 for Oscarinin in the top lane, who was meant to be the point where Rogue could focus.
Yeah, that's the big one for me. The fact that this Jace is kind of just nullified in this position. They haven't given him resources to really play through this top side.
Will be the first tower of the game for Fnatic. 6 grubs for them as well. Mighty powerful are those grubs when you have these short-range compositions, as you were saying. Rogue will get their second dragon of the game, but Fnatic will be very happy with this exchange.
Yeah, especially now that they can just basically
head, and then they snowball a huge amount over about the next 10 minutes of the game. So right now they're 4,000 gold ahead.
That's a lot of these similar stories that we're seeing as Fnatic learning to play sides.
Awesome pulled back with the shockwave. Gravity well on Humanoid will stun him up, knock back on Mickey, but Fnatic, you can poke and you can prod and you can look for these little bits of damage, but they kind of knew they were never getting a kill there so many times over the year. Like, look, this is 3-2. They're out-moving Rogue on the map, and Rogue, their early games have been impressive. So
what's going to turn Fnatic into just an absolute machine as this year goes on.
Yeah, totally agree with you. We'll see if Fnatic can keep the form going. For now, they're focusing on this best of 10 seconds. Your tower is gone. You can see Upset and Razork playing around the mid lane as Unstoppable Onslaught comes out onto Larson. There's the Grand Starfall as well. Oscarinin has tanked this tower for an absolute ice. He's still just tanking it. What is size?
We can hold on to these structures and play for 3-4 items, but yeah.
It's a curse.
I know. But there's nothing else you can do, right? It's like, you're in a decent spot. Mickey just needs to be careful of any of these Accelerate Shock Blasts, taking his health bar down.
Yeah, you can see Razork actually leaving the Dragon. Grand Starfall is available to him. That Pantheon ultimate. Oscarinin is just going to walk straight in. Unstoppable Onslaught. They get the damage. Look at how low Execute already is with the Grand Starfall there to follow up. Mickey dives in with a Magnet Storm. Malrang falling low. The Articon secured by Razork. He gets the smite. Mickey pays for it with his life, but Patrick follows suit. Upset's flashing forward, and Malrang is going timber. The tree has been felled, and the petals their prize.
Yeah, Adam managed to sneak a few away, but at the end of the day,
you do get a buff to all the neutrals you've taken in the game, which will only help, or all the big neutrals at least, only help them with the Void Grub push. As Razork dives in, like Oscar tanked that tower for just an age. There's nothing you can do, man.
The thing is, he's at half HP, which means you've only got 3,000 more to go. It's so ridiculous.
I think that's just Baron for Fnatic.
Yeah.
Void Grubs and Oscarin's tankiness allowing them to bait Patrick into a state of unawares, we'll call it, as they see Rogue TPing down towards that bottom side to try and get themselves onto Soul Point. They're 10,000 gold in the hole, and I don't even think a soul would save you from that sort of death. Razork and Upset should be able to secure the Baron. Oscarinin, Mickey, and Humanoid should be able to keep Malrang, Adam, and Larson away from the Drake. Malrang goes in, knocked up with the Decimating Smash. There's Mickey with the Magnet Storm on the backline, finds 2, but the rest of his team unable to follow. Grand Starfall in by Razork because he looks for a little bit more of a chase. Execute won't go in, and Malrang will die. So yeah, Fnatic get it all.
Oscar came out with more health than he went into that fight with.
Yeah, tanks, man.
An in despair is the thing, you know? But yeah, I think at this stage, like...
I got my wall, man.
My walls are clean.
When did you like? Okay, first we have
Yesterday.
Gaming Legend. Grass is coming in. Cleaned your walls yesterday.
Yeah.
Oscar winning, still very tanky here as the engage happens in a 4v3. Larson here to make it a 5v3. Razork's here to try and even out the score. Meanwhile, Humanoid continues to push in. 5v4. Rogue are on the back foot. Razork won't fall, Fnatic will get a kill, and Humanoid very happily will accept all of these himself. Shockwave goes down onto Marang. He gets another one. There's nowhere to go. You're stuck between a ball and a hard place, and your only choice is death. Mickey the only one for Fnatic to fall. 15 kills to 4 and 16,000 gold ahead. Fnatic will clean out game 1.
Fnatic making it look easy, to be honest. Great rotations in the early game, playing well around upset. And then Oscar in the biggest beefcake that ever existed at the end of this one. We'll have to see exactly what the answer is. Jax. Yeah.
Okay. It's a tale of as old as time. Jax, Renekton, top lane matchups. Really about, does the Counter-Strike stop the Ruthless Predator stun? Does the Renekton manage to get extra damage off early? Usually swing really make the difference. Razork is going all the way behind the tower here. Flash? Razork flashed over as well! Oh. I mean, that's gorgeous. I didn't see the Razork.
And then the chlorophyll's in the middle there.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah. But it does mean Fnatic are able to get the next two. I don't think Rogue were going to commit to a trade, like, to go for the following two. But it does mean that, meanwhile, Razork gets to fully clear out his jungle and be in a position now to contest.
Oscar winning. Chased out by Adam here, who flashes. There's the root caller follow-up, and Daisy's here for the party. Adam gets the first kill for Rogue in the bot lane. Rogue have started this game off swinging. For Fnatic, though, they'll be looking to strike back, and I wonder how they're going to do that, because Oscar is pushed up a little bit too far on the bot side. Does still have the flash, has that way out of base, but still only about near the Razor Beaks, so a couple of seconds before he's able to rejoin this. Rogue have taken one.
You're going to lose a wave on top side as Rogue as they all commit for this.
Razork, Solar Flare, Flash Shield of Daybreak, but there's no damage to follow up, and the Strangle Thorns will keep Rogue at bay. Bullet time opens up, Patrick has to flash away, Marang falling low, shields himself, but it's not enough, and Humanoid will weave his way to another kill. Fnatic find 2 in the battle. Humanoid can't.
Yeah, we'll have to double check in the replay, but there was just no real follow-up from Rogue. I'm not sure if Larson tried to go for the shuffle in and got hit by Talia's Unraveled Earth, but Mickey now starting to wrap around again.
There's the quickness, and Larson doesn't get away in time. Mickey takes the kill, Upset takes the plate while Mickey gets a help.
Humanoid as well, just to lock down the Jhin. So nicely played by the Fnatic mid laner, kind of set up a lot of that success for Fnatic there.
Yeah, now they're 3,000 gold ahead.
But it's also the shift that we're seeing in the map. So you get top wave pushed in, Oscar in goes mid, covers the mid push there, so you can actually get the tower play. And now you've got this numbers advantage that is created on the bottom side. And even as you go for that, Humanoid TPs back up to the top side, protect the pushing wave from Azir. So across the board, Fnatic are covering a ton of these plays to set themselves up for success, but also then to cover any sort of answer from Rogue in the map.
It's called shifting, I believe, in the technical terms. Means something different.
No.
It's yeah, good shifts there from Fnatic across the map to make sure that...
An effect, but it really is these small things, and now Oscar in and feeling the execute effects potentially.
Yeah, Zenith played underneath the tower. There's the Solar Flare follow-up. I don't think they have the damage. Redemption will follow here, so Adam is going to be healed up, and with Larson coming across, they should have the damage. Oh, no! He gets the counter-strike. Adam flashes away. He's okay. He'll survive. It was almost absolute disaster. It was a moderate one. We'll say 4 on the Richter scale on that for Rogue as they lose damage on top tier 2 as well. The curtain's open, but they're closed by Mickey. They're going to lose the mid tier 2. Fnatic takes so much on the other sides of the map. I don't know to catch that wave as it comes in. Oscar's playing mid so that he makes sure there's no pressure there. Rogue did not, and then you survive as Adam. Well, he tries to survive underneath this tier 2. He manages to, but the tower does not, as it's now a 6. If you ride the Rift Tower, by the way, you get a lot more lights as it crashes in, but Alpsa didn't want to put himself in what could be a little bit of a precarious situation. Mickey's going to quickness flash and battle dance his...
Although it looks like they're feeling a little bit more comfortable as Razork and...
Oh, TV behind.
Yeah, this is why you don't go for the tower.
Okay, so we've got Mickey has the quickness in 7 seconds time. TP's coming out from Rogue as they're about to be pincered. Mickey should just die. He immediately steps into them. Mickey, what are you doing? That was not fine at all. Humanoid looking at the seismic shove onto last, but can't find it. Now Fnatic are fighting on 2 fronts. Humanoid has to flash away from the Zenith play. Redemption coming out from Rogue as they look for redemption in this series as well. They've killed off the support, but they can't find more yet. No Emperor's Divide for Larssen. Still about a quarter of that cooldown left. But Rogue could look for the Artican. Remember, tanking it reduces your resistances as the seismic shove comes out from Humanoid and chunks out Adam just a little bit.
It's very hard to go into this area when you've still got the bullet time for upset. And now Patrick! Oh, nearly gone.
Humanoid's on the other side of it, though. Unless he can kill Patrick quickly here, the Solar Flare's going to follow up. Dominos out from Adam. Humanoid caught out as he died a little bit too deep. He'll die, so will Execute. Razzle coming in, the bullet time, the Strangle Thorns. It will be enough to kill off Larssen with the Leandri's prompting on the screen.
It took me a second as well.
Razzle could hit the Scuttle Crab, and so the pet was jumping between them like a yo-yo on a string. Get it on a leash, Razork, okay? So a little bit aggressive too early, getting caught out. Then Humanoid getting caught out because you went a little bit too aggressive too early. Fnatic should still win this game. They are so far ahead. 7,500 gold in the lead. Rogue have... Who's on Oscar? Solar Flare follow-up. That's a lot used. The Solar Flare, the key long-range engage tool from Rogue, and you can see Oscar immediately jumps in. Double flash coming out. Oscar is going to be locked up. The Zenith blade into the charm from Mickey. Stranglethorn's not going to find anyone, but Execute will fall on the other side of it. Forward for the moment. 6,000 on the Baron now. Adam has a blast cone, trying to build up that Fury bar. Humanoid does manage to clip him with some damage of his own. Oscar Winnin falling low. Marang still looking for that smite, but can't get in there in time. Upset secures it. The seismic shot back on Larssen into the Emperor's Divide. Rogue will find 2, but they cannot get away yet. Another seismic shove will land. Upset still has the bullet time here as well as Patrick is taken out by Razzle. Adam will have to dice his way across this wall. Humanoid jumps forward. Upset flashes the wall. The seismic shove back. Zenith blade coming in. But Fnatic with the Baron now, and only Adam standing in their ways with a wave as well, will at least be able to crack the base, if not more.
Yeah, Adam's going to have to make some sort of hero play, but against 3 very strong DPS champions on Fnatic's side, it's going to be so tough. He needs to get the wave.
He needs to get the wave, but there's another one just coming in. Stranglethorns, Adam flashes away, clipped by the bullet time. And unlike Matrix, Adam couldn't dodge that. Fnatic will start up on the Nexus towers. They'll take them. Larssen the only one standing for Rogue as Fnatic find a clean 2-0.
Great stuff from Fnatic. You can clearly see the stuff that they're trying to work on.
Upset are your nominees. I mean, they all had really good series. Like, everyone on Fnatic had a really good series.
But I think, like, that's what I love about when you get to games like this, where it's like, it's no individual person, it's everyone doing their job. Everyone is on the same page, everyone understands what they're doing. So it becomes more of this team effort than just a hard carry from a solo person.
100% agree with you there. For Rogue, it's looking dicey now. It's looking really tricky for them. They only have 3 series left against Carmine Corp, against MCoy, and against SK, and they need to win all 3 really to be in a realistic chance of making it to playoffs. Our top 6 qualify. We're expecting 4 or 5 series wins to be the cutoff. That is, it's not maths, it's what we expect.
It's like, it's so difficult when you've already lost so many of those series against the teams you're trying to compete with now. So it becomes less and less likely for Rogue that they're going to hit.
It does. Tiebreakers, though, if we do have a 6th place tie, they are played, even if the head-to-head goes one way, because it's a single round robin. So we'll play those 6th place head-to-heads. For now, though, I believe we have Law, who is standing by with a Magic the Gathering enthusiast himself. Mickey, how do you feel about Blood Moon?
It's horrible.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm Laure, standing by with Mickey in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. Quick question, though. Have you played with the casters? Do you know if they're actually good at this? Okay, who's better, Dagda or Medic?
Probably Medic.
Probably Medic. Okay, there you go. Medic, you can go with this one. Now we're going to talk about League of Legends. Really convincing series today, but I feel like that's what you needed to do against a team like Rogue. But I know your urges. I know the trends that Fnatic tend to have to get a bit too excited sometimes. How hard was it for you guys to just like keep things in control and have this one smooth without any,
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely tough. And we learned from our series against SK that we took everything a lot more, I don't know, like kind of how we do like every week. Like just don't take everything for granted, I guess. And I think our comms were quite controlled, quite chill. We didn't take like many unnecessary fights. And we also just had good conclusions from scrims this week. So I feel like we executed a lot of that on stage. So overall, pretty decent series.
The casters were talking about the Duffman effect, and I had an interview with him, and I know that he's been helping you on mid-game. As someone who's been working with Duffman in the past, how much do you quantify his impact in making you guys better?
I mean, I think he is probably the major reason why we actually close out the games cleanly, or why our games look like it's not only about just fighting. We actually win games by just playing around the whole map and being efficient, which I think is, he's the biggest part around that. So yeah, hopefully we can continue to improve on that and by the end be a good team that doesn't have to rely on just like mechanics and skill checking everyone. So,
yeah. What I told him though is that for me, improvements come from stability, but I'm like, how do you guys make sure as a team that you're gonna build enough foundations that you don't get too excited in games when you're supposed to keep things calm and steady?
Well, I guess it's mostly just about repetition in scrims. Yeah, because we still have a lot of moments in scrims where we're not like on the same page, or like we get too overexcited or too snappy with the engages. So I think the more we talk about it and the more it happens, then the more examples we have of it going bad.
All right.
Should be easier to fix in that way.
Well, we'll see in the next stage game you have, which is going to be next week. Quick question though. Upset said you had a team dinner, something planned. What are you going to have for food tonight?
I want pizza.
Pizza? Pizza it is. Thank you so much, Mickey. Congrats on Fnatic for this one. That's all for us here on this side of the stage. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes with GX versus KC. Stay tuned.
Say that. So I do like the fact that they go for that approach, and it's not something that you think is going to happen twice with the Kalista, ideally. The problem is it's a best of 3, and you're now 1 game down.
Yeah, and we already walked away from this saying, look, Rogue, good draft, actually. You hit 2 items, you have triple poke compositions. That's good. If you get to objectives and you can slow it down and play for second, third arrow coming out, awesome. That's cool. What we actually saw this game is the game completely fall out of control. Once they actually went to objectives after that point, they couldn't slow it down, and they completely got blasted.
And now I'm going to say something extremely controversial, but...
Go on then, what do you got?
But the way for Rogue to win is to bring back the Slogfest. Yeah, bring back the Slogfest. We need to bring Vedi back to do his 48-minute segment on Rogue again, because you need to neutralize these lanes, because it looks clear that Fnatic, if they have winning lanes, they are more comfortable to play for these sorts of, outplay matchups where they can just take over games. And now, I think for Rogue moving forward, they need to bring back a lot of neutralizers, just scale fine, play for these Drakes, bring a 15-minute snooze fest, but this is realistically their win conditions, and it sucks.
He said it.
It sucks, but that's just the harsh reality right now.
That's sometimes how the cookie crumbles. I do wonder, the person that's been most outspoken on this Rogue roster, and I think he's also been put forward by the team as to be the person to do a lot of the interviews, but is Adam, right? And I look at a lot of these games, and I look at him particularly, and I think I can understand the Jace pick there as well. This is a guy that really wants to show, hey, maybe I'm on this roster that seems a little doomed, but I want to come out here in an okay way where I'm still a good prospect, right?
He was given the tools for it in this game with that Jace first assign, but the sad thing for him is he just didn't have the time window to show it. Like the game was over, you see that little kill feed come up in this.
You're probably like, oh.
You're like, oh, that's 2 kills to a Kalista. That's thrown our plan for a loop, and that's a big problem. I do like the fact that Rogue were, they had a coherent, we've said it many times now, that was really the bright moment for it before it.
Yeah, like, whoa, this is great, guys.
Yeah, that's great, but that's basically what we can say about this. I do completely agree, though. You have to start giving some agency towards Adam, and you got to hold the shop down, really, until he can actually make a difference on an individual level.
We'll see. For Fnatic, though, I think they smashed Vitality last week. I feel like this should be a walk in the park for them, but I never trust them fully. I wouldn't trust them with my life, but I perhaps would trust them to bring this one home.
Yeah, I still don't trust Fnatic that much, especially after the game 1 against Vitality. I do trust them to bring them home because it does look like a resurgence, right? Because even though we meme Rogue a little bit about the fact that they're losing games, their games are really long, we still need to remember that in most of these games, they're coming out with early game leads and mid-game leads, and it's just about converting the win. And now Fnatic, with this disparity between their projected form with how they're showing up today, I feel like they're doing a pretty good job.
And now we get a chance to see if we can stay Duffman effect even more in this next game.
If we can.
It was a really good closeout in this game. I was happy how they played through this. They seized those mistakes, got really far ahead in the game, and it didn't look close after they got ahead.
It did not. Duffman, he's working his magic. And we'll see if he can continue to do that in game 2.
Grabs is actually the one that plays Magic, though. I think Duffman might play a little bit of Magic.
I think, yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, because Mickey was telling me that they used to play together. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't played with them recently.
That is
Makes
true.
me sad.
Yeah.
I think Vedi, addicted to Magic at the moment, went over to their house and played with them a while ago.
Vedi resisted for so long.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Vedi basically just refused to join what he said was our cult. And now I don't think a day has gone past that I haven't gotten a message about something to do with Magic.
Yeah, it's literally, hey guys, we have a 30-minute lunch break today. Why don't we play a game of Commander? It's like, Vedi, that takes 90 minutes. It's like, no, it's fine.
On a
really
good
quickly.
day, it takes 90 minutes for us.
We played a fast game last night, and that was 110 minutes by the end of it.
Yeah, well, if
Look,
someone
Blood
didn't
Moon
have
is
that,
a good card, okay? I'm a big fan.
I'm not a big fan of it all.
Well, understandable. Fnatic have done a good job in game 1 of playing a fast series. We'll see if they can continue that early game pressure and snowball it away from Rogue, or if Rogue can somehow find a way to get the games into that later portion where they can rely a little bit on other teams making mistakes.